This is the No Logic 2024 tournament of Link to the Past Randomizer. No Logic is the mode where items are placed completely randomly without regard for whether you have the items you need to access them. Because when you can do enough glitches, you can beat the game no matter what. Almost certainly. Our music packs tonight, Malmo is using Brainlord, and Chex is using Super Guitar Brothers. Our racers have readied up. Good luck to both of our racers. Here we go. Immediately a flute. That's very convenient. Flute in the sanctuary. Momo's going to start at home and do the water route first. So just a quick hop off that ledge takes you quickly under the bridge. And now Momo's fake flippering over to the right. She can do a swim clip into Ice Rod Cave. She doesn't have any bombs, but as long as she's at exactly the right vertical position, she gets in anyway. Chex is checking the Lumberjack Cave, which is an extremely out-of-the-way item in No Logic. I didn't see it, but it's probably not important. Momo's an Ice Rod Cave. Momo also set up the water walk in Ice Rod Cave. No, never mind. No, she didn't. So she's going back to set it up. And she's got to set it up in the alternate entrance to Ice Rod Cave, because, you know, she never bombed open the other one. Yeah, also crabs. Crabs are a problem. Crabs really are a problem. I think Momo's not going to be following this route anymore. But she gets the flute, which will get her back in the water anytime. So Chex has gone directly to Kakariko. And, you know, most rando routes start in Kakariko because there's so many items there and they might be required by logic. Oh, there's a sword. In No Logic, you see racers put it off a lot sometimes, because, you know, there's lots of items you could check anywhere, and the logic doesn't matter. And you might want to save Kakariko for when you've got a bottle to show to the sick kid, or powder for the magic bat, or when you've got a route that you want to continue into Desert Palace. But it also makes a lot of sense to go to Kakariko and find some items, and those may guide where you go next. Also means you don't necessarily have to do Death Mountain with no bombs and no hearts. Hey, look at all the money. Crabs are winning. So Chex is activating the flute. That's going to be a very convenient way, in particular, to get to the potion shop, because potions are glitch fuel. Now, whenever we see a sword, we start talking about, can that sword be duped? I really don't know of a way to dupe this sword. Unless it happens to be on the same super tile as where you come in here. It is not. That we are probably not going to see that sword get duped. And you know, the flute is a pretty strong motivation to go to Kakariko early. Hey, there's a bottle there. So Chex just needs to hop up there and steal the item from the end of the race game. Bottles are very important no-logic tools. And now he's taking the Duck Express up to Death Mountain. Alright, we've got a cape in the Tower of Hera. That's all that Chex is collecting from the Tower of Hera now. And we've got a big key up there on the ledge. Big Key of Thieves. That is one of the cave state big keys. If you go into a dungeon from a cave entrance by clipping through a wall and the game thinks you're still in a cave, then that is one of the big keys you can use as a cave state key. It looked like Chex was trying to hop up into the sky for a moment and then didn't. Oh, neat. So yeah, probably he'll come back with a filled bottle so we can collect that bow twice. Malmo sees the bow, and she's gonna hop up there and get it. Alright, so we saw Bombos in Paradox Cave. The Mire Medallion is a pretty useful item to have. Of course, we don't know which medallion that is yet. Alright. Chex has changed his mind, I guess, and is coming back for the bow. So yeah, in No Logic, you can use almost all of the major glitches. The most notable glitch that you cannot use is the exploration glitch. That's the glitch that makes the any percent speedrun like 4 minutes long, the one that lets you just walk under everything to the end of the game. So that's a glitch you're not allowed to use. You're not allowed to you're not allowed to access like out of bounds memory. That would lead to, like, you're not allowed to do that, like, the kind of thing that would lead to arbitrary code execution, but, like, almost everything else is allowed, so we see some wonderful glitches in this mode. But yeah, one thing you'll see a lot in the overworld is diagonal walls are not really barriers, they're tools. They get you where you're going. For example, Chex is going to lean on this diagonal wall in the water for a bit, and then swim over to Ice Rod Cave. And every item can be found literally anywhere. Other things about the racing settings. The goal is to get 7 crystals and defeat Ganon, but also, if you get the crystals by, like, duping them, you still have to go back and beat the boss that the crystals were from. So this is the crystal bosses rule. You have to defeat the 7 bosses that the crystals were on. And the item pool has 2 fire rods and 2 ice rods. Avoiding the situation where Trinex would be impossible because one of those was on Trinex. Oh, the item that Malmo missed out on when her water route was interrupted was Blue Mail. But also, she's going back. She's going for round 2 with the crabs. Never mind. She's already got Water Walk set up. Yeah, like most of the bosses have glitches. Wait, was that gloves? Was that gloves on the Lake Hylia Island? Wow. Most of the bosses have glitches within the no logic rules that give you alternate ways of beating them, but not Trinex. I'm curious what the illegal way to beat Trinex is. Okay, sure. Okay, so Chex has just duplicated the gloves. Wait, why was that to 20? Did Chex just delete the gloves? Okay. Okay, the rupees from the hobo are collected. And now Chex is going to go get the gloves on the island the relatively normal way. The same way Malmo's doing. We've got some sync here. Just, you know, need to hover across the water. So simultaneous glove grabbing by both of our runners. Of course, gloves make it pretty compelling to go to the Hyrule Castle escape. Big key of Ganon's tower, alright. Small key of swamp, marginally useful. And now I'm almost going to set up a bomb juke in this door. She just needs to get as far as she can into the door and then cross the transition in the wrong direction, which she missed. Because when she goes through this door in the wrong direction, it's going to take her to Ganon's basement and let her check the pyramid. Chex will have an opportunity for a similar door juke. In this door going downwards, if he goes upwards through it, it takes him to King's Tomb. So Momo's now in the fake Dark World. The game, you know, she's on a Dark World tile, but the game doesn't know she's supposed to be in the Dark World. So the next time she does a screen transition, she's back in the Light World. Was that a bottle that Chex collected from King's Tomb? And then Momo transitions back and forth and ends up in the same tile in the Light World, and she's comboing this into checking the castle basement. Or the secret passage. Which also has a bottle. Alright, Chex is doing a Death Mountain descent to check the ledge here. Kind of surprised we haven't seen it before now. It's often a place to go early because you get to stock up on bombs there. Turns out it's the Moon Pearl! And like, I guess the thing steering runners away from it until this point has been that the flute being the first item in the sanctuary just encouraged you to go everywhere else first. Also, when you do that Death Mountain descent, the screen is scrolled in the way that causes the Houlihan glitch. So Chex combos that into going to the Houlihan room for some money. We've got a big key to Hera. Nice convenience item. Also lets you check the big chest. Alright, this bee is joining the battle. Awesome. Oh, wow. Sword on the desert ledge. Alright, Chex is in the desert with potions. That means that he can combo this into the top floor of Thieves' Town using YBA or Yuzuhara's Bottle Adventure in one of the doors. Drinking a potion the moment that you go through a door has various effects, but one of them, if you drink the correct kind of potion, is that it lets you skip half a tile or a tile and a half in the direction of the door. So Chex needs to line up in the door. And it was a nice quick YBA. So now he's in Thieves Town while the game still thinks that he's in Desert, so we can collect that key as a Desert key, except he's using it on the door. And that was necessary to get the screen scrolling correctly. Oh, another nice sword. And here's Malmo doing NMG Moldorm with just a fighter's sword. But it goes fine. I'm surprised Chex didn't clip back into Desert. But Chex is instead going to go through the rest... Like, I've just seen that route a lot recently, but Chex is instead going through the rest of Thieves Town. I guess it helps that he's got the Desert Palace big key, so he can go in here. And find a big key to Skull, alright. Yeah, he won't be able to open the Thieves Town big door because the other side of it is a small key door. But he can fight blind. And this is going to collect the prize of Desert. Oh, that's true. Yeah, he could open that door. Oh, Fire Rod on blind. And so Desert is a crystal. We're not marking Desert as done for Chex because it's not done until he also defeats the Desert boss. And now we've got some fake Dark World action for Chex. He gets to interact with the Village of Outcasts. If he does an overworld transition, he's going to be back in the Light World. Oh, I hadn't seen that we had the knowledge that Turtle Rock is a green pendant, so the Ice Rod is not going to be required, and that means this is the situation where Chex starts thinking about Go mode. He's got swords, he's got a fire source. Now, there are still items you need to finish other dungeons, but there's lots of possibilities for them. So, like, he can complete Eastern Palace with a Stairmaster, I believe. Desert Palace he can just do the normal way. Tower of Hera is easy. I mean, I guess Tower of Hera you would need a hookshot or the ability to clip from Mire. No, because you can drink a bottle and come from Palace of Darkness in K-State. Alright, Chex has gone and collected the crystal. Oh yeah, because we already had the Thieves Town big key. Yep, Chex has collected the crystal of Thieves Town, and so he's done with Thieves Town. Crystal is collected and the boss is defeated. So Malmo's here in Thieves Town now. I missed whether she must have come from Palace of Darkness because, she must have come from Desert Palace because she's got, you know, no keys as opposed to all the keys. Yeah, 2 bottles is enough to dungeon ID swap and do Mire without the medallion. It's obnoxious, but it's enough. Alright. Malmo collects her desert prize. And yeah, like the thing about speculating about Go mode, our racers are still looking for items, because items make things easier. A lot. Alright, Malmo's now done with Thieves Town. Chex is finishing Desert Palace. I've done the big eye manipulation. It's a mess, but it works. That's if you do a spin YBA to get to Vitreous from Aga's Tower. Speaking of spin YBA, I'm surprised. Chex has the Desert Big Key. Why is he backtracking? Like, he's gonna do a spin YBA. Oh, to not spend a key. That's cool. Anyway, there go the graphics. It's fine. I thought Chex had done the thing that he needed to do to preserve the graphics. Oh, but that takes a green potion and he drank a red one. So the graphics are corrupted as hell, but this is the Landmolus fight. And that was the fight. And now he's resetting to get graphics back. Did he save and quit that fast? I guess so. Anyway, silver arrows. Oh. Oh. That's an interesting subtlety to the Crystal Boss's rules. Like, the game doesn't have to know you beat the boss, we just have to watch you beat the boss. Is that how it works? Neat. I never knew that. So yeah, we just have to stare at all those glitchy pixels and say, yeah, that was definitely Chex collecting the item. Okay, but like... Sorry, I didn't see him save and quit, but that's because we couldn't see anything. That's what I was talking about. Presumably he did. We learned some crystals. Swamp Palace is a crystal, so Swamp Palace is going to be, you know, tricky without flippers. But there are ways. Chex has wrapped the screen with a kiki yeet and is here in Spectacle Rock. He's going to do a clip into Palace of Darkness. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen Palace of Darkness before now. There's another fire rod there. So this is K-State Palace of Darkness. One thing about K-State Palace of Darkness. So one thing about K-State is you start with 255 small keys, and as long as you've got one of the appropriate big keys, you also have a big key. And then Chex is going to route this in a particular way. Oh wow, hookshot. Hookshot is a very convenient item, especially for hook pushing. Just to clip through almost any wall you want to with various setups. And then the other thing about routing Palace of Darkness is you might want to go to Hookshot Cave afterwards, especially when you've got the hookshot. And so there's a I guess it's a kind of transition corruption or a juke or something that lets you get into Hookshot Cave from the ferry door. Alright, Momo didn't need to do that fancy key steal that Chex did. Chex has left and re-entered Palace of Darkness. Now the game knows he's in Palace of Darkness, and he can set up a path to the boss, and that's going to be the statue dragged to Helmasaur. So he's going to mix up a transition in the Palace of Darkness lobby, so that he can wrap the screen and walk into the Helmasaur room. And the way that he does it is by dragging a statue into the door, and then dragging an invisible object as he gets bonked back into the door, and then dragging through this. He didn't go into the room up above. Oh, something went wrong. Wait, does that work? Going outside and back in lets you still statue drag? Wow, okay. Yeah, I didn't know this way. Anyway, there is the screen wrap to Helmasaur. Malmo has done the citrus clip to clip down Death Mountain as a bunny. We'll be finding out about where the crystals are as soon as Chex collects this prize. Key to this dungeon, and that's a crystal. So Misery Mire and Ice Palace are pendants. Now, we don't have to worry about as much about the Mire Medallion. Momo finds flippers in Skullwoods. So now she doesn't have to worry as much about Swamp. Alright, Chex is heading up Tower of Hera using the Hera Pot clip. And because Malmo took a death in Skullwoods, she's in the fake Dark World, while she's in Skullwoods. So again, she gets to be in the Dark World until she does an Overworld transition. That is crystal number 4 for Chex. Chex is heading into the Dark World. He's got the Moon Pearl, which was on Graveyard Ledge. So that's very convenient. And he's just going to clip up to the Ganon's Tower area. Because he's setting up... I don't know what this is, actually. Oh, wow, just a Death Mountain descent. Big flying leap off the mountain. In a way that takes you to that item in case it's a good item. Malmo getting bullied by mini Moldorms, and Chex is joining her in Skullwoods. Alright, that is Malmo's 4th crystal, with Chex close behind, which would make it his 5th crystal. Chex is having a much easier time here in the back of Skullwoods. Useless map. Almost heading up to the mountain. She might be heading to the Palace of Darkness from here. There's Chex's 5th crystal. Oh, neat. Malmo is finally clipping down Death Mountain and collecting the Moon Pearl. Very helpful. And also, comboing that into the Hula Hand, she's just going to have a bunch of money, which she can use to fill her potions. Chex is heading into Eastern Palace with a screen wrap. He's got the key, he's got everything he needs to just do Eastern Palace the intended way. And Malmo comes here to stock up on potions. There's powder in the front of Eastern Palace. Powder is something you can use to set an index for hook pushing. Speaking of Eastern Palace Big Key, Malmo is doing a Stairmaster, which I think takes her into Eastern Palace, yep. So now she gets to do Eastern Palace in Cave State. And she's going to do this dungeon by running out and back in. Excuse me. Alright, things are looking great for Chex. This is going to be his 6th crystal, and then he just needs to do Swamp Palace. The thing he's still missing is the flippers. But, again, that can be worked around. The swords are made progressive by the randomizer, so any swords after the 4th just turn into 20 rupees. Chex is hopping in and out of this portal. And my guess is he's going to take a look at Mire as a way of getting it into Swamp. Maybe not. What is he looking for over here? Yep. The main glitch, like the most well-known glitch that's banned, is the exploration glitch. The one where you just kind of walk under everything in the underworld. That's the glitch that means that the any percent run of this game is like 4 minutes. Also, accessing locations that are out of bounds in memory and arbitrary code execution are the main other banned glitches. Chex's MSU pack is called Super Guitar Brothers. Chex is doing that live, amazing. Well, something's about to be duped. This is Chex setting up a tree warp, which didn't work. Time to bail out and not crash the game. Or, wait. Did it just roll bombs 6 times to not crash? I don't know what happened there. If I understand what you're saying, Chex is extremely lucky that he's not resetting and looking at a possibly corrupted save. What is Chex tree warping? I love tree warp. It's a great way of duping arbitrary items. What is Chex tree warping? What was the last place that he was indoors? A bottle. Okay. So you just gotta herd some chicken skeletons. You gotta get a very precise number of sprites onto the screen as you get bonked over there. And that loads the tree with the face, which is 3 sprites at the same time, and that overflows the number of sprites, and that causes a tree warp to happen. For a third bottle. And you know, a second big key, a desert palace. Another dark palace key that doesn't matter. Just might as well dupe all the items. And we've had one desert big key, but what about second desert big key? Okay, so Chex has 3 bottles now, and he's going to be using bottles as part of his glitch to get into the Argus fight. This is going to be a double YBA, east from the desert east door. And this is why it was important that Chex had a spare desert key that he, you know, did a big workaround to hold on to. So the thing here is you do an east YBA in the door, then you scroll the screen to a very particular position and do another east YBA. And that's going to make the next upward door go into the swamp. Speaking of getting into swamp, Malmo is clipping from Hera into swamp. The crystal that she doesn't have is Palace of Darkness, if I'm understanding correctly. Got a tiny little red berry there to ruin Chex's day, but it's fine. This is fine. So Chex is in the Argus fight with corrupted VRAM. And he's trying to scroll Argus's eyeballs off the screen to get to phase 2. That happened. And that's the Argus fight. So now Chex needs to collect the swamp crystal. By going into swamp and getting to some boss room somewhere. Momo has done a much more traditional swamp. She clipped into the middle of it from Tower of Hera, went out, unlocked her way out, and then went back in. Alright, Chex is here to stock up on bombs, probably for a hook push. And yeah, so he's gonna do a big hook push from the swamp lobby into Hera. Helmasaur is easy to get to. Only thing you need to get to Helmasaur is hearts. And that's because the statue drag requires hitting yourself with a bomb, and also you come into the boss room from the spike side. Speaking of which, so Chex is back in Palace of Darkness, and I'm not sure why. Is this to get into Hera and then Swamp? So, Chex has collected... Chex defeated Argus while the game believed him to be in Desert Palace. So he collected the... he had already completed Desert Palace, so there was no prize to collect. But defeating Argus was still important because of the Crystal Boss's rule that says that when you collect crystals from the wrong place, you still have to defeat the boss that had the crystal. That's a racing rule. Anyway, Chex is here in Strangely Quiet Tower of Hera. Malmo is doing her statue drag to Helmasaur, just messing up this transition by dragging an invisible statue through it. This is still close. Both of our racers heading for their 7th crystal. This is really close. And the thing is that Chex doesn't have flippers, so he needs to set up a hook push. And he needs to, like, do splash deletion to even be able to cross that. Yeah, Momo did Swamp the totally normal way of coming in the middle from Tower of Hera. And then going out and back in. And Chex is doing the glitch called Fake Clippers, which I don't understand. So I guess he's not doing the hook push. He's going to be doing a YBA instead. But there's Momo's 7th crystal. This is kind of amazing that Momo caught up because of the flippers that she found in Skullwoods. Anyway, the last thing that Momo has to do is defeat Agatu. There's various ways to get there, most of them from Turtle Rock. Of course, he wouldn't spend the time to actually go up Ganon's tower. And Chex has done the YBA to go from Swamp back into Hera, and that lets him go to the Hera boss room and collect the Crystal of Swamp. Malmo is... I'm not quite familiar with this lava dive setup, but I guess that was a thing to get past the locked door, and then it's a normal lava dive. Anyway, falling in the lava in that room takes you to Aga 2. Chex has his 7 crystals, and he's heading over to also do a lava dive, or to do some clip to Aga 2. I won't presume which one yet. Chex is doing a hook push, it looks like. So this is a form of stuck push. He's got the hook shot stuck on screen while he messes around with other item indexes. Looks like it didn't work. Yeah, all of the hook pushes are easier with Lamp, but of course our top no-logic runners know all kinds of alternatives to having a Lamp, because hook pushing is such an incredibly useful glitch. Oh, Malmo missed the torch glitch. That's worrying. She's got enough magic, right? Oh, she's got silvers. Everything's fine. Oh, yeah. And nice triple to finish it off. So GG to Malmo. This is a huge win for Malmo, who's going to be advancing in the winner's bracket. And as Chad is saying, Vex is going to be terrifying people in the lower bracket. Yeah, incredible sub-hour. That was a heck of a run. I'm coming in for an interview. Hello, Malmo. Congratulations. GG.
Thanks. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that was a heck of a run. And I'm gonna say flippers seemed like they made a big difference.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I felt like I went to school too early because of the Moon Pearl location, which I was never going to do that until I needed money for potions.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, okay, if I need money for potions, fine, I'll go to Graveyard Ledge.
Oh my
fine,
gosh.
I'll get Houlihan.
I hadn't realized that the only reason you did that was to set up for Houlihan. That's amazing.
Yep. I was like, okay, this is a YBA seed. I'm in go mode one way or another, and I'm going to keep opening chests because I can save a lot of time if I get like a map of one of the dungeons and not guess wrong. And then I realized I could do this pod route where I check the crystal while doing swamp. I think somebody had the opportunity to do that a couple nights ago in a race, and someone in chat like suggested that would be a good thing to do. So I had that in my mind when I went there. Like, rather than blind statue drag for a 1 in 3 chance, which is super slow, that I could just do swamp and then come back to pod.
That's neat. Yeah, so would you say the flippers were when you considered yourself in go mode?
Yes. right. I think I had my 3 bottles by then. At that point, I was thinking, I can't think of anything that I can't do with 3 bottles. 3 bottles will solve almost any problem in no logic, even if you don't want it to. Then I was like, okay, I can do a 3-bottle Meyer, I can do a 3-bottle Argus, I can do 3-bottle this and that, and it's like, that sounds really expensive, so let's go to Houlihan. And then Pod, because Pod is cheaper and has rupees in it if I really need them.
Okay, and yeah, I think there was some worry that you were going to miss the hook shot by go moding too hard in Pod, but
No, it happens to be the one chest that is next to where I need to YBA. And
yeah,
I can't just
sense.
see a chest directly in front of me and not open it.
That's neat. We've got Chex finishing up here. Yeah, this was really close, and like I don't think it was clear you were ahead until those last couple of minutes.
I think it helped that, the early game with the crabs at Ice Rod Cave and dashing in the wrong, just not dashing close enough to the pit to get water walk and then dying. Like, I was like, okay, great, this is gonna be like yesterday. I'm gonna start pre-tilted and it's just gonna spiral from there. And then I just, it took me a few, like locations to get back into the normal mindset. Like to get out of tilt. Once I was in desert, everything felt right again, because I was like, okay, now I can do a really cool route, desert to Thieves, walk back to desert, and I was able to steal a desert key from Thieves. Which you can only do if you have the Thieves Town big key. And the desert big key.
Chex's key steal was elaborate because he went and collected the one from the very back, and then did a spin YBA. Like, with all the items that he needed, but did the spin YBA to save the key.
And I was thinking this saves me from having to do that when I have to do Argus later. Because I think at that point I knew, I don't think I knew Swamp yet. I hadn't been to the Dark World, but I knew, at least I had the map of Swamp. I had it in my mind, for sure. It definitely helps in to see that, like, the 3 and most annoying dungeons are pendants. Swamp is the other one, but I had the equipment for it, so it didn't matter. The annoying part of Swamp was unlocking it, which is like, whatever.
Yep. And
GG
to Chex. Yeah, let's see if we can get Chex in here. All right. Any other fun routes that you got to do this seed?
I think it was really just that desert complex and then the pod complex that I felt good about, and everything else was just like normal. It was a really free seed, and that's I was panicking a little bit about how free it was and how free the Moon Pearl was. I lost time going to Skullwoods. And then I only used the Moon Pearl once after that, and that was just to go to GT, or like to go to Agatu. So it didn't matter that much.
Hey, Chex.
GG.
Hey.
Great race.
GG.
Yeah. Hey, I beat Red Kitsune.
Is that the best time of the tournament?
Yeah, I have the best time of the tournament now.
Wow.
This is what happens. Like, when you get deeper into the tournament, people start getting sub-hours, and it just goes mad because people have gotten so much practice. Like, you have a 103, that's really good. I mean, that's like the time I got last time. That was the second fastest time. So, like, some really good fast races in our series. GG on that.
Yeah, well played.
That was a heck of a race, and it was really unclear who was ahead until the final minutes. Like, Chex, you were knocking out those crystals also. And of course, the big difference, I guess, is Malmo had flippers from Skullwoods, and that slowed you down in Swamp Palace.
Wow. Okay.
But
I searched one item on the way to Mothula, which was Bumper Ledge.
Yeah. Yeah. Any fun routes that you got to do in that run? Because like your time's great, also.
I don't know. Duping the bottle was a huge slog.
Mm-hmm. I was excited to get to see a tree warp.
Wait, what bottle did you do? I had 3 by the time I found. Well, I had my 3rd bottle was a dupable bottle on Maze Race. And I was like, oh, cool, dupable bottle. I don't need to do that.
That was my first one.
Ah, I see. But you can't dupe if it's your first one either. And that's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
There was also a very dupable sword in Thieves Town Attic. I think you needed cane for it, but it was my tempered, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, that was my tempered too.
Dupable glove on Hylia Island.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice collection rates between
Oh,
us.
sick.
Wow. Yeah, Chex, I saw you setting up to dupe that glove and then ending up overriding it with the hobo item.
How did...
Wait. What?
Oh, you need
that
the... You need the hobo unchecked, I guess. Is that
No,
right?
you probably just didn't load the item.
What's that mean? Oh, you have to load the item?
Yeah, any overworld dupe, you have to actually like see the item because the randomizer won't place it until you're actually on screen. Like, remember how it used to lag when you would go on bring an item on screen?
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so it being 20 rupees was just kind of a default item then?
Yes, I think so. I didn't know that the effect was 20 rupees. Actually, I think I did know that because I've seen people trying to do Maze Race that way, and you have to load the item. And a lot of people will like fail the YBA and then they'll go back to the transition and forget to load the item again. And I have seen that become like a green 20 or something weird like that. So that's definitely a not load the item situation.
Yep. Also, chat was shouting checks about you setting up the tree warp with not enough bombs and taking a big risk.
Yeah. I went for it.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I had 4 bombs and then I had 3 bombs.
Mm-hmm.
that's a bit of a risk, isn't it? You want 666, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to remember even what bottle was tree warpable.
Mini Moldarm Cave.
Oh, you took that far.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I just found 3 organically.
Yeah, but you had flippers, so I think you didn't have to use 3 bottles to get to Argus, right?
No, but I had 3 bottles. I just found them. I did.
I know. But you didn't need to use them.
I didn't need to use them. No, the most consecutive YBAs I had to do was I decided to do an Aga 2 using 2 bottles instead of I could have done laser dive if I needed to or hook pushed. But
similar. I went for the what did I do? I went for the lava dive with a hook push, but I couldn't figure out how to release my hook, and then then I didn't know how to get another stuck hook, so I had to go farm money, and then buy my last potion.
Oh, that's rough.
To have 2 more potions.
Did you buy Zora?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Did you pick up the 20 rupees?
No, but then I picked up a different 20 rupees that was slower and thought about that.
Yeah. That was quite the race. I love it.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Is that your PB in double rods?
Oh, I mean, this is my PB in any mode where you play the whole game.
Oh.
I have never sub-houred a seed before. That wasn't like reduced crystals or something. Or like boss hunt. Like one of those like designed to be faster modes.
That's awesome.
And did we, in our 3 series, defeat Trinex at all?
Did we in our first game?
I don't know.
We definitely did in the last game. Because the last game,
lot.
my go mode was Cold Stare weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Which that doesn't happen when you have a Trinex that you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, the game really wanted fast seeds, and I think we just stacked the deck with fast times. Like, the top 5 or 6 fastest times are just going to be us now, and, like, Red Kitsune.
Yeah, there's
until
still
until like
a lot more
Crithel and I
tournaments.
race or something, and then he just gets like a 49 or something.
Yeah, we're waiting for that 49.
Someone's gonna get it. I am tracking all winning times. You can't really track losing times in any useful way because of forfeits. So I only track winning times, and I've tracked them for all tournaments, all the main tournaments.
That's really cool. All right, yeah. So, congrats, Malmo, and GG to both of you. I'm really glad I got to commentate this race.
Thanks so much for commentating. And yeah, I think well played. Again, a pretty poor decision on my part to go for go mode with no way to defeat Argus. So that's what I get. So well played to Malmo, and I will look forward to the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, we get to both take a break. His lower bracket in our particular branch is going to take a long time to catch up. Also, upper bracket can chill a little bit, you know, in the next phase, whatever that round is that I'm in. So we can chill for a while.
Mhm.
There's no rush.
Yeah, and thank you to Other Tom for tracking. Thank you, SpeedGaming, for restreaming. And our next race in the tournament, assuming somebody signs up for it, is tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So we might get more no logic goodness then. Have a good night, everyone.